only real map that they hit the ground running on. For BBL, it's been, you know, a while since we've seen this one from them too. Second week against Giant X, just when it looked like they'd suffered yet another setback, losing out massively on their attack half. They'll start the defense here.
Yeah, and it's great info, early doors, 3 players hit by the Dizzy. But BBL putting their focus on a weaker side of the map. The mid portion, Boaster lying, and unfortunately caught out. Big entry pick from Levin.
BBL often leaving the B site open when they play GX. Happy to go for the retake, and with numbers in their favor here, that looks to be the view. Slight focus on Kayak, facing the defender spawn side of the map.
Alpha going to play as a late win condition here, lurking through, but BBL already making work through CT and clearing it out. Alpha's luck works out, getting rid of Propek. So all the bodies towards CT, and Fnatic know that they're going to set up for it. Levin through, but Fnatic completely fill the kill feed and win out the first pistol.
It's comfortable enough from them in the end after losing Boaster. BBL had put their priority, leaving B open and paying a hefty price here, but taking a step back again. That has to be the master plan for Fnatic and their champions run, because they've had a few goes at it now over,
like you think towards like 2023, the potential golden road for Fnatic there. It felt as if by the time that they got to champs, they just ran out of steam a little bit.
Of course, Sunset and Abyss were both difficulties for them last year, and then flipping that around, you have to consider it's interesting with Abyss now coming back in for the next champ cycle, as Fnatic are making light work of this eco, because you know, Sunset was released 3 days after the conclusions of Champs 2023, so we didn't see it come back into competitive play really until kickoff at the beginning of the next year. So now with time to think about what it is they want to do and giving us a look at what it could potentially mean for them here, it has been a solid start.
Yeah, I mean, everyone,
you could even really call it that. There's money behind them, full set of rifles. They're continuing to push their own interests, further them through middle. It's Sociable instead that gets the opener A main, and Kayak of all players, the one that falls.
Levin needs to be careful of his timing on TP. He's the only one holding on to mid and all alone. A player who is first in first kills, but also pretty high in first deaths as well. And Propek gets caught out.
The risk that you take, but 2 players immediately behind link side. A wall placed here by Alpha, just signposting the authority of Fnatic as they continue this slow creep, and Levin caught trying to make some sort of a play. Yampi could suffer a similar fate, and there you go. Fnatic, once again, walking through BBL as if they weren't there.
Yeah, it feels as if Fnatic are now starting to pull BBL limb from limb. That will most likely be a bonus round converted here. Boaster up against Sociable in their own spawn, and like ships in the night, they pass each other.
2 teams we've seen in this region for many a year, their involvement spanning back all the way to 2020, 2021. But the kickoff game that we saw, that opener, was BBL's first win in their history against the Black and Orange. And looking at the parallels to now with the change that's been made, Magnum, of course, coming in, a former Fnatic player, they're pushing for these top 4 spots, or at least it feels like they've been there or thereabouts all year long. From that kickoff run, how it ended.
Anti-eco round against Fnatic, being aggressive, and once again, B main set up to look the exact same. Fnatic were able to get through tricky waters last time, but can they navigate it this time round? On the orb, is that the trigger?
Same Vice Wall that we've seen placed a couple of times now by Alpha. Typically, you would see Kron on that roll, but the slight switch up, and Kayak holding an angle under the arch, but comes off it just as BBL make their move.
I don't know, through Sociable, the only rifle, can't quite get the fight that he's looking for. At least as the smoke creates a question mark that Fnatic will have to re-clear, or maybe they feel forced to go elsewhere on the map.
See, investigation of mid. BBL have 3 players here. They outnumber Fnatic in this fight for the moment.
Yeah, but they don't outnumber them in terms of weapons, and that's the problem that BBL will have to try and face, get through, but unfortunately at this moment in time, they can't. It's going to end up an even trade, and Yampi looking to hold on through A length, all alone, untradeable.
Fnatic moving through the map in numbers, but time is dwindling here. We know they like to play it late. A, one of the hardest sites to hit without time.
Yeah, but look at Magnum playing in the smoke with a shotgun. You thought just for a moment he might be able to make it work, but Prophet is. Sheriff hitting, Spike finally down, but Sociable's here, the only rifle. A player that needs to clutch up against 2. Althea and Boaster playing off of one another.
Has the smoke back up now, though.
That's going to open any lines of sight onto the defuse and is able to get rid of the arc rows. Both players begin to walk towards Sociable, but spammed out. It will be 4 in a row for Fnatic.
Until now, looking much more like a functioning component of this Fnatic machine, which as it stands, has left no stone unturned. Yampi collecting some information early on, the dizzy again towards B. This time, Fnatic with a more tempered approach, but it's into 11's op.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. 11's op for the first time. Can he get the value out of it? The arc was already used, but taking a bit of damage off the back of that. And if, I was about to say, Fnatic want to execute, they do have the ultimate. Well, the first of that is going to be the dimensional drift, and that's combined with the steel garden. And Kayak's entry into the site is blistering. Magnum's able to at least get 1 back in BBL's favour, but they're still at a numbers disadvantage.
Fantastic set piece to open up, but BBL still have numbers here. And Sociable has 1 more TP, but Alpha finds him inside the smoke.
Yeah, now Fnatic 2 to the good. It gets even worse. Magnum, the only one really being able to get kills in this round and waiting for the wall to drop so he can get Prophet to support him, but it's not going to happen. It's going to be Fnatic dominance in this round once again. Looking to be 5 in the row unless Prophet can find 3 of his own, but he's thrown in the white flag. He tries to escape, but you can't escape Fnatic.
GX on last time.
And yeah, that is very true, but I want to pick up on a quote that the head coach Pal had given us when he guested on the desk, and he was talking more about how his compositions need to be loaded more for the attack side, right? So maybe that's where BBL's focus has been.
Okay.
As for right now, BBL playing this round on the attack. 2 entry kills, 1 through a Bucky, 1 through a Sheriff. And Fnatic feeling like they're on the back foot a bit.
Yeah, from some incredibly aggressive positioning as well. BBL also with the mid control. Quick rotation towards B. Fnatic forced to make this play, guided into the defense, which is waiting for them.
Yeah, and the utility is great for delay. Time is getting low, and we all know that Fnatic like to play with low time. And they've already got the next one back in their favour, right? Still 1 down, but it is still BBL to try and deny a plan. 18 seconds, Althea gets another. Now the body's starting to dwindle. It's all going wrong for BBL just when you think there's a chance. The spike won't go through, but Yampi denies. And Althea, I don't know if he's got enough time. He has to commit to it, comes off the plan, and gives BBL the first round.
Rebel clutch for Yampi. 1 on time itself. Final grains hitting the bottom of the hourglass. You're kind of confident to keep going as the coach. You don't need to invest an early timeout just yet, give Fnatic an opportunity to talk things over either. They'll be making their way over to the A site. Yampi's already put a hell of a lot of noise on the B side. He leaves behind him Chronicle, who will be slow on his approach, and Magnum out of Link is the player to be worried about. 2 kills immediately. Fnatic a little bit laboured as they slowly stagger their way through the courtyard towards the A site.
BBL have control of Spike, but look at Althea finding another angle of approach.
Profex considered this though, and from the angle he will find the Turk. Taken down now, 4 versus 2. Numbers in favour for BBL to increase their efforts, double their round count.
Last player standing.
Without a break in play required either, it's Profex to strike yet again. Chronicle have the pit. There is no position from which to play. Magnum in the end at the triple. BBL restoring order on this map before it gets out of hand. Beep in A main, and here, it's the exact same, but right on the edge of the Viper's pit. BBL, same push outside of B again, but there are numbers to this Fnatic attack this time.
As BBL hanging around, the same smoke that Sociable dropped last time, but Paranoia waiting, and they deny any more space. So very well done by Fnatic to keep control of B main, but BBL still want to fight this.
Oh, huge kill from Magnum in the meantime as well. Finding one in mid, he's cornered in the process, and Sociable's out of smokes to help him.
Able to not be drawn out, but the fights come through, and when they do, BBL come out on top. But not only that, get control of Spike!
Yeah.
And this is going to be a disaster for Fnatic if they can't get that back. Look, they're all towards the B side. BBL need to be careful of their flank.
And we're approaching the 30-second mark again here, so Fnatic don't have time to play with. They need to win the duels.
They do. Kron, last start, gets taken out. And now look at Crashes, having to approach from top mid. BBL change up the positioning, Magnum towards the other side. They can both double swing if needed, but there's a time in here. Crashes gets the spike, but the peak comes through, and BBL get a third in a row. About the players that have left, right? Yaka, which is a big one considering, you know?
Yeah.
At the same time, focus on the round. Levin, deep in mid. We've seen him do this push quite a few times. Yampi's towards top mid, jump spotting, and has long-range utility that can support. But Fnatic have somehow been too focused on what they were doing, and Levin's got an opportunity to find a player. That was Kayak.
Common positioning for Levin as well. I'm surprised that he's able to take the 1 versus 1 there. Does still have the TP.
And it's the second time he's done it.
Yeah. And that makes it all the more surprising. I mean, even here, Boaster's overlooked it. Caught falling foul to the same player again. Finally, he overstays his welcome, and that's something that we have to mention. The discipline on the BBL side. All of this aggression expected from Fnatic after the timeout. You could see the setup. They were playing passive, but now they have the picks.
Thrash being used, and obviously that's going to be on a timer to when it expires, but Fnatic trying to brute force their way through A-Link, and it's not working out. Prophet gets the pick onto Chronicle, and Sociable pushing main gets Alpha here. Leaves Crashes in a 1 versus 3, but he does have the spike on his back.
Sight at his disposal for now, but Sociable closing the gap with that Paranoia.
Yeah, and so is the rest of BBL. They'll get confirmation of their 4th, and that's after Fnatic timed out. Might fall as well, and BBL aggressive in the mid round once again, and it's 11 on a line from A-Link.
Toxic screen goes back up, but that's for both teams. Fnatic wearing through their toxins to take the duel on Prophet, hoping that he would be willing to challenge. 2 players caught by the trail of the Nightfall. There is a third here though at that reveal. It's just reconfirmed Chronicle's position. Again, BBL given the mid control. Still got Alpha hanging around A late, and that's where you think Fnatic might opt to pivot. But Levin left unchecked could continue to be an issue, and he's just setting up Yampi instead.
Yampi has a full belt of utility as well, but it's that dimensional drift that's going to be used. And remember, Yampi has been seen, and he has no way out. Has to use Levin as a way of supporting him out of this. And Alfia in the corner catches Yampi. Levin at least gets the trade out, and Magnum goes one better, finding Kayak. Delay further in B main. Fnatic can't quite get out.
Still stalling here, still utility to work with. Paranoia in the hands of Social arriving late.
Yeah, 20 seconds left. Fnatic need to get a move on. We know that this is where they like to play, but BBL, they're using that to their advantage. Kron holding on and potentially able to do it. Spike in his back pocket. He's up against Magnum, who's wrapping him round, and he's going to get it. Magnum makes it 5-all.
Another multi-kill for Magnum. Only a couple of rounds left in it, and Fnatic on the brink of having their buy broken. Levin still able to freely operate within mid. His opening game, sort of second game against Fnatic in VCT, felt almost defining, I think, in terms of how aggressive he was willing to be against some of the best teams that we've seen. It's a change up in the Viper wall. And BBL on this extremity with the Yoru, pushing the envelope.
11 forced out. BBL looking to regress their positioning and delay as much as they possibly can, but Fnatic have changed their pace. Where's Sociable come from? Unfortunately, risked it too much and gets caught out as Fnatic overwhelm the site and look to finish this one off, leaving Prophet all alone.
So much work on his shoulders. He's spotted the second player having found the first.
4 players all trained to this one position. You'd expect this is impossible, and it is. Fnatic finally make it 6 and guarantee at least an even half.
Tied out of the opening 12, Levin chasing them away from the A site.
Yeah, already finding quite a few bodies through that. That's at least 3 that you see TPing out just before the ultimate expires. Where does Fnatic go? Do they look to re-clear A main? It looks like that's the case, but Sociable has taken that space for himself.
Well, we've seen the change in the duel list. The macro for BBL is very much the same. Very aggressive early on. Fnatic respecting this, but Sociable on the angle does get checked. And they're looking to invest a bit more utility here to take him off position.
Fnatic aren't fully sold on this being an A finish just yet, but the body's starting to move over. Maybe that's different from what I think. Sociable needs to be really careful, nearly catches Poster off guard and has to use the paranoia to get out, or so I thought.
The side of the dark cover, 4 players for Fnatic.
Yeah, he's just trying to be a bit too cheeky. Has at least one, but as the players start to move forward, there's still damage! Kayak at least is able to get the trade before Sociable pounces, but Kayak now through A main, trying to be the person leading the line, but instead it's Alfia so deep, and when the orb drops, that's when the engagements will ensue, but Fnatic need to get a move on!
Look at the spike! There's 10 seconds, Cairo! There's simply not enough to get this one done. I don't know what Fnatic are up to.
And Yampi's won the duel on B main as well. Fnatic are the makers of their own doom and make it a 6-6 half.
But deadlock on the half should have you slightly concerned, even if you are on the BBL side of things, because it's the attack side where they did massively struggle before. Just 2 rounds against GX, looking for their first on this A push. It started with success. Prophet finding Alpha. Kayak trying to flash back out, and takes 2! No! The Prince of Pistol may just have crowned himself king. Ridiculous flicks from Kayak. And of all players, it's Yampi that's got to try and walk back in. An ace to add further trouble.
BBL struggle with their attack side on road since the last time that they played it. But this is ridiculous. This is something extraordinary from the young gun that Fnatic have picked up.
Sit down.
Art. Pal's protege Scott, happy with what he's seen. This a commanding buy for the next. It's straight into Kayak's site they go again, and he's already at the races.
That he is. Alfia gets rid of 11 as Kayak still continues on. That spike on the ground, and well, it's going to be as easy as possible for Fnatic. A nice round.
It's either side of the map with that.
So much spam damage through the defensive Viper wall. As Fnatic look to hold on to it fairly well. At the same time, BBL are working with 1 player on either extremity and have given up mid. Fnatic holding on to that, and it's an important part of the map. That's why Sociable's still holding on here, seeing if he can at least get something.
That'll have to be the plan for the next round. Kayak spearheading it again. Another kill picked up, this time Sociable. In terms of what options that leaves BBL with, the Viper Wall's committed towards mid. They've got to walk in dry. It's Kayak again! A triple made into a quad. And inside the first 3 rounds, he's nearly had 2 aces. Still holding on to the dimensional drift, of course, but Fnatic, another blistering start.
It feels as if it's the Kayak show, though. It feels as if it's a 1-man army at the moment. who is dragging Fnatic up by the collar.
30 seconds left.
BBL will feel hard done by. That's another first 3 rounds.
It looks like, because there's no tape there.
You need to just deny that wall going up as well by destroying the clone before it touches it is going to be important for Fnatic. They're going to have that passive information into the late round, allowing their decision making to be fairly easy.
BBL having the preference to try and overwhelm Boaster on the B hit. He will not be caught in this situation though, and with the gravity well, a little bit more time to delay the oncoming Levin, who posted in the corner as a simple pickup for Kron. Wingman making its way onto the site, but the spike felled, and Yampi, Sociable, needing a whole lot more from this host of Sheriffs, which now sit in the sole hands of Sociable. Cleared out by Kron. Double digits for Fnatic.
They are on the home straight to winning out their first
stage after making his first showing in Berlin. In those same orange colours, but with Apex on their Ascension run, a single best of 5. One hell of a way to climatize, but here we are, BBL, the all-important round, the rifle between the two teams. Kayak still clutching onto the Euro ult, but this time Fnatic are a no-show in middle.
Spotting towards B main, and the fact that we are seeing Kayak being so aggressive, but it's the fact that we've got Prophet close by. BBL waiting for a reaction from Fnatic, but they're not getting it.
BBL, given all of this space early on, start to question themselves. Where are Fnatic? Posted up on the sites, of course. Seeing the regroup coming in. Prophet, full forfeiture of A main.
Yeah.
Rerouting himself towards B, as the rest of BBL will be. Both anchors, both controllers waiting.
That's the thing. Just a little bit of pressure moves the bodies of Fnatic towards A, leaving this B side looking maybe a little bit more weaker. Levin by the molly and in towards the site. Kron on default, able to hold it down, but can he hold on any longer? No, he can't. BBL, they're able to get the advantage and the spike plan.
Late positioning from Kayak coming in main though. Prophet has to be aware of the potential. Social has stopped the mid push, but it's from either end that Fnatic make their reprisal.
Kayak doesn't win the duel against Prophet, leaving Crashes in a 1 versus 4 with possibly one of the worst weapons, the Odin, and he has to give it up. Or at least makes it look as if he is.
Sticking around. But the round has been won through a number of players on the BBL side. It was a team effort, a well-orchestrated display of how they can look at their best when they're playing a fundamentally charged game, looking at the extremity control which they held on to, relinquished.
50 newtons.
Scott can certainly slap a hand, I'll tell you that. Dapped us both up, felt like a rocket had gone off, and Fnatic have certainly got a fire lit underneath them here. Yampi responds in kind, 1 kill, needs more, double headshot, only 1 though. And as much as we talked up Prophet, he has a mountain to climb. Alpha can see him coming from the summit. That's where Fnatic find themselves sitting. BBL gearing up to let one rip from their own strapbook.
But Levin denied through the razor vines of the Vise. Crashes waiting for the opportunity to get in, but the Nightfall makes the site anchors a little bit unsteady, a little bit uneasy, and Alfia makes it look easy. As Fnatic look to fall on down, collapse upon BBL, as Fnatic hit 12 with an in-zone flawless.
With the map pool discussion, this is only going to be a huge positive to take for Fnatic on that road to champs that we expect. Simplistic shutdown play. Something we've constantly credited BBL for is their ability to turn a bad situation around, and it will start, as it often does, through Yampi.
Toxin screen down.
Big entry kill as well. Alpha gone. That's that Vice util offline. As BBL tried to pivot in towards B, but Boaster takes a timing. on towards the Phantom, and it's just a Sheriff, but he's in, oh, he's in his cosmic form and gets taken off guard.
That Prophet's going to be calling to the rest of BBL. Have an open sight. The problem is, Chronicle can disrupt this.
He can, and will! That's the spike, remember! And the players can't get out! Chronicle might have just won this map here and now! As Prophet has to try and go back and collect that spike.
Should be willing to invest the pit, give himself half a chance, but even then, 2 players on the double stack, it should be done.
Both players hold it, and confirmation there. Fnatic on their debut of Corrode will win it out.
It's